Hey, what's up, guys? Gage back at GHG Gaming here. So, I'm actually just recording this intro to let you guys know that this video is going to be a highlights from a BR run that I had last week, actually. 12-0 run that we did have on stream here, so hopefully you guys enjoy. It was a great run. Thanks to everybody that was out there in the chat, everybody that tuned in. But I figured I'd get the highlights out there for anybody that wasn't there so you guys can see the other 12-0 run we had. So, if you do enjoy, leave a like down below, subscribe if you're new, and definitely leave some comments below if you want to see more, because I do have another run I anticipate to post here in the next couple of days. But let's go ahead and get into it. Hopping into game number 1 here, we are actually taking on the Chicago White Sox. Username is Dax, I guess. He's got Jordan, Glaber, Posada, Stanton, Moustakas, Larkin. Can't see the bottom two, and then he's got Corbin Burns on the mound. So we're going to hop into the first at bat here. Jordan coming up, he actually takes that curveball from my common starting pitcher. Tried to rob it here with Aaron Hicks, but it was actually it actually did get out of here, unfortunately. So at an early deficit here in game number 1. But no problem, pick this up in the bottom of the first. Jock Peterson's going to get that run right back with an absolute nuke to right field as we go ahead and tie it up 1-1 here in the bottom of the first, here in game number 4 of the run. So we got a 1-1 game here. Literally next batter, Ernie Banks hits a slider from Darren O'Day out to left field as we are now up 2-1 in this game. So we'll pick this up in the top of the next inning. First batter of the top of the second, Mike Moustakas hits an absolute nuke to right field. I know I was visually upset about the fact that he was able to hit that ball out of the zone out, but it's a tied game up, and now he's got next batter here, Barry Larkin, very next pitch after the home run. Barry Larkin's going to drive this down the left field line. It's actually going to be for a double. Now, Jock Peterson's going to get the ball in, actually for a single, my apologies, but Jock Peterson does get the ball in here. And as you can see, it was lagging. The game was lagging for the most part the whole time. And eventually, we do get the lag out on his part, so we end up getting the win. It should be popping up here any second. But my opponent did end up lagging out here. I know for the most part it was lagging for the majority of the start of this game. So there it is. The lag out does occur. And so we're actually going to hop into game number 5 here. So game number 5 of the run, taking on the Edmonton Expos. He's got Gordon, Jones, Peterson, Guerrero, Davis, Chirinos, Odor, and Green. Our lineup: Peterson, Banks, Wong, Suarez, Sanchez, Hicks. We got Dietrich in the 7 spot. George Springer's 75 card in the 8 spot. We got Edwin Jackson on the hill. So nothing happened for me in the top of the first. Picking it up in the bottom of the first here, my opponent's going to get a little bloop single with D. Gordon to center field. So already at early trouble here with that 95 Gordon at first. Pick it up to the third batter of the inning. Jock Peterson's going to drive this one out into the gap. So this is going to easily score D. Gordon from first. Jock Peterson is going to get to second. So we're at an early disadvantage here. Also as the away team as well. So hop into the next batter here. Very next pitch, Vladimir Guerrero is going to fight this ball through the other way of the live series. Guerrero, my opponent does not try to go home at third, but he's got the corners with 1 down. Very next batter, Chris Davis hits a ground ball to first. Now, I didn't believe when I originally watched it that this ball had hit the ground. I thought it was an absolute line drive, so I went into replay. I was like, what happened, man? That's why I didn't try to turn 2. I went back in here. It does turn out he actually did barely enough hit the ground, but so we'll hop out of instant replay here. So you do end up scoring the run there. So we're actually going to pick up back. This is actually the bottom of the second inning as he leads off with a base hit with Sean Green. I myself didn't do anything in the top half. No other runs were scored in the bottom of the first. So I have it here because it's important to look at the pause timer in the top right. My opponent used up a lot of his timer, and it actually, not to foreshadow anything, it may cost him at some point in this game, but I did want to show that his pause timer was getting very, very down here. And he just continued to pause. At this point, it's going to get all the way down to 3. Obviously, he did get more pause time when we went to the top of the third, but I did want to show that he did use a lot of it. So it's actually the pinch hitter that he brings in here. I did bring in Patrick Corbin to combat the pinch hitter, but his pinch hitter does end up getting a base hit to center field here. So now we got another more trouble that we're running into. He's got first and second with 1 out. After a D. Gordon ground out to first, we got 0-2 to Andrew Jones, and he's actually going to swing over the top of that curveball in the dirt. We do escape trouble there. Still chasing 2, though, as we're hopping into the top of the third. So he brings in Mark Grace, so I combat with my platoon of Mark Canha here. So on the 2-1 pitch to Mark Canha, he's going to drive this ball way out to deep center field for the home run, as we are now only down 1, looking to come back and take the lead here. So very next batter, George Springer. He's going to pause again. Like I said, pause timer's going down. He did get additional time when the inning did shift to the top of the third, but he's still, I mean, within 30 seconds, and he's wasted it all the way down. He's at 13 seconds now. He brings in the 82 Goose Gossage card. I would want to check it as the 82 breakout version. So fast forward here in the at-bat, we got a 3-2 pitch coming from Gossage to Springer. We do end up taking the walk here. So no runner at first after I don't remember what the out was, but we do end up getting another walk here with Jock Peterson, so that brings up first and second here for Ernie Banks. After a sinker low, my opponent decides to pause again. Like I said, he's only got 13 seconds left of pause time, so this is going to run down 6, 5, 4, and I think you guys might know the rest here as his pause time does run out. We do take the win on the pause time. We do force the quit on his end to get win number 5 of the run. We do take the win here in game number 5. Now heading into our game number 6, taking on the Baltimore Ballers. And the team that he's going to be rocking with, he's got Desmond, Jimmie Foxx, Cody Bellinger, Sano, Sogard, Goodrum. I can't see his 7-8. I know his 8's Buxton, and then he's got Josh Rogers on the mound. Of course, you know the team. Peterson, Banks, Wong, Suarez, Sanchez, Hicks, Dietrich, Springer, and then we got Carson Fulmer taking the bump. So we're hopping in. Third batter of the game here. We were able to get 2 outs to start it off. We got Cody Bellinger in here. We're going to give him the 4-pitch walk. No business pitching to him. I did not want to give up a yak early here, but we're going to go ahead and take bring in Darren O'Day here for Miguel Sano. So we have the 1-2 pitch now to Miguel Sano. He's actually going to fight this one off to right field. So with 2 outs here in the inning, my opponent does have first and second now, so we're going to have to battle to keep it scoreless here in the top half. So fast forward to Eric Sogard up to bat, 2-0 count. He actually lines this out on the sinker from O'Day to left field to Jock Peterson. Bottom of the first now, Jock Peterson actually at the plate. He's going to take that low and inside changeup, I believe, and blast it out to right field. So home runs from Jock Peterson in back-to-back games here. He was a monster on this run for me. Love that card, baby. So we're going to actually get into the next at-bat here. I believe he brings in Shane Green here to face off against Ernie Banks. Fast forward to 2-1 in the count. Ernie Banks is going to take that pitch, blast it way up in the air. An absolute moonshot to left field for the home run for Ernie Banks there as we take the 2-0 lead. So fast forward now, after my third bat of the inning got out, we got Eugenio Suarez up. We got a fastball right down the middle for Bishak. I was a little early on it, but I was able to keep it fair as Suarez is going to hit the foul pole as we're up 3-0. So fast forward now to the top of the second. We got 1 out in the inning. Darren O'Day is on the bump facing off against Torinos as we get the 3-1 pitch there for a strike, but then we miss again, so he's got a 1-out walk here with Torinos. Next batter, Byron Buxton, the 0-1 pitch to him is actually gonna hit Darren O'Day right in the foot, and with that 99 speed, no way we were throwing him out. So he's got first and second now with 1 out. As we fast forward, he brings in Lourdes Gurriel as a pinch hitter. The 3-1 pitch to him, we do throw a strike up and in, so we got a 3-2 to Gurriel. I tried to backdoor a slider here, missed way inside, so now he's going to have the bases loaded with 1 out here, so we're definitely in some trouble here with Jordan coming up. So I did bring in Billy Wagner to face off against Jordan Alvarez, so we're going to fast forward to a 3-1 pitch in the at-bat. Threw a fastball kind of inside, kind of down the middle. He actually fights this the other way. And Jock Peterson's going to make the play. We're actually going to go to third. He does try to get to third with Byron Buxton, and we get Buxton out before he scores the run at home, so it's going to stay 3-0. So fast forward now, he forgot to put a pitcher in for Gurriel, so he's pitching against Dietrich. Dietrich's going to blast this sucker to left field, and we got ourselves a 4-0 lead as we just tack on another run there off of the position player pitching. So we got George Springer up here. And this is actually going to yield the quit from my opponent. But my opponent's a really good guy. He actually ended up tuning into the stream, and he was there for the duration of it. So shout out to you, Bevins, if you end up watching this. I appreciate you tuning in, my man. So after that 6-0 game against Bevins, that's when my bats really started to heat up for the run going forward. As I'm now hopping into game number 7 here, taking on the Chicago Happy People. He's got Damon, Lindor, LeMahieu, Hayward, Hoskins, Alvarez, Fegley, and Dahl. And like I just mentioned, I mean, the bats really, from that point on, they were really heating up. I was putting good swings on the ball, and this one's starting off early. We're getting into the first batter of the game. Peterson does take the walk there on the 3-1 pitch, and that'll bring up Ernie Banks. And we're going to fast forward. So 1-0 in the at-bat here to Ernie Banks. He's actually going to throw a slider across the middle. I didn't know at first if this was going to get out, and that was actually a trend of the run for the most part. I had a lot of balls where they were close and eventually just got over the wall, and I couldn't believe a lot of them that got out. But that one did end up getting out with Ernie Banks, so we take the early 2-0 lead here. He's actually going to bring in Corey Knievel, I believe, to pitch to Suarez. Actually, no, it is Will Harris. My apologies. And Harris is going to throw that pitch right down the middle in a 1-1 count to Eugenio Suarez, and that pitch is not coming back. An absolute moonshot to left field by Suarez, as we now have have the early 3-0 lead. So we're going to fast forward. 2 outs now in the bottom of the first. Nothing really happened in between there. Pitching to DJ LeMahieu. We put together a good at-bat against my common starter. So he's going to get a base hit with 2 outs there on the 3-2 count. So we'll hop into the next at-bat here as he brings in Jason Hayward. I actually brought in Billy Wagner to combat Hayward, and he's going to combat me with Justin Upton. He's going to bring Justin Upton here to pinch hit against Billy Wagner. So now, fast forward in the Justin Upton at bat to 0-2 now. We're going to throw a slider low in as he's taken off on the pitch. He's going to jam Justin Upton to center field. Aaron Hicks is going to make that play, and we are now heading to the top of the second with that 3-run lead. First batter at the top of the second, got a 1-2 count with Dietrich. He's actually going to pull this through the shifts. I thought maybe he'd get thrown out at first, but luckily the animation took long enough that I was able to get there with Dietrich, so we got the leadoff single. Fast forward later now in the inning, we got Jock Peterson up, and Jock Peterson's going to do what Jock Peterson did a lot of this run. He actually hits his third straight home run, third straight game with a home run, as we now have the 5-0 lead there. So fast forward now, 2 outs in the bottom of the second. He has Fegley in. He wasn't really doing anything at the plate. He ends up lining out, and this is going to get the rage quit from my opponent. So we are now 7-0 on the run. We are bringing those hot sticks into game number 8. We're going to be taking on the San Diego Llamas. And he actually has Judge in the leadoff spot, McCann hitting 2, Banks in the 3-hole, Jim Edmonds, Justin Turner, 78 Lomo card, love that card, Crush Davis in the 7 spot, and Arias in the 8 spot. Chad Kuhl on the mound. Like I said, took those hot sticks into game number 8 in this one, and I'm telling you, we did not disappoint. You will see it coming up. So we'll start off here with the first batter of the game, of course, Jock Peterson. 3-1 count. He's actually going to hit another nuke. 4th straight game with a home run for Jock as he starts us off with a bang. We were up to the early 1-0 lead being on the road. I feel like this run was pretty even, being the road and the home teams for the most part. But he actually has Kelvin Herrera in now to face Ernie Banks. And we're going to go back-to-back with Jock and Ernie Banks again. Did that quite a few times this run as he hangs a changeup right down the middle. We got that early 2-0 lead. We got a 2-2 count now to Colton Wong here. He's the 3rd batter of the game. He's going to drive that low and inside fastball just off the wall. Couldn't quite get the 3 in a row, the back-to-back-to-back. But that's okay. We got a double here with nobody out, already up 2-0. And the hitting's not going to stop there. Let me tell you, it's going to continue on throughout the start of this game. We got Aaron Hicks up now with 2 outs in the inning. He's got Leclerc in. This ball's going to go up the middle. Second baseman is unable to make the play, and it's actually, we're going to have the corners here with 2 outs. So that brings in the next batter, Derek Dietrich. And he actually, I think he goes to the mound here, I believe. It's either in this at-bat or later on that he brings in Johnny Venters. Nope, so he does keep in Leclerc for... Nope, he intentionally walks Dietrich, that's right. So Dietrich's going to get the intentional walk here to load the bases. That's going to bring up George Springer. And George Springer, first pitch, is going to drive that ball deep to left field for the Springer dinger, baby. A grand slam. We are now up 6-0 to start off this game. The sticks are hot, and they're not going away, baby. Another 12-0 opponent, too. I don't know if you noticed that, as this is the pitcher actually batting now, as he's going to drop a base hit into left field. But I faced around, I want to say about 6 12-0 banner opponents in this run. It certainly was not easy to collect these wins, but I was on fire. So now with Jock Peterson stepping in here after the pitcher hit, that's when he brings in Johnny Venters. He's got a 1.71 ERA with Venters on the year, so pretty solid with the arm. First pitch to Jock Peterson, he's going to drive that through the right side as we're going to keep the rally going here. We got first and second. He tries to throw Jock out, not quite though. So Ernie Banks is going to step in here, 2-2 count to him, and he's going to drive this ball to left field. This ball was very, very close to getting over the wall, but unfortunately, it's going to one-hop the fence there as his left fielder got a bad reaction. We put another run on the board. We're up 7-0 so far in this game. So weren't able to get any more runs in there, but no worries here. We're going to hop into the bottom of the first now. There's 2 outs. See, he didn't really do anything before this. We got Billy Wagner in here facing Ernie Banks, and Ernie Banks is going to also hit a bomb to right center, more center field than right, as he gets one back on the board. So now it's only a 7-1 game. Next batter, Jim Edmonds, got a 1-0 count to him. He's going to drive a fastball the other way off for Wagner here. Aaron Hicks is not going to be able to catch up to it, so it is going to be a 2-out double here as he's trying to put together a rally himself. So he's got a runner at second here. Justin Turner up now. We got a 1-2 count to him, and this is where that rally is going to end. He's going to ground this one out to Ernie Banks. Ernie Banks is going to throw him out at first, and we got ourselves our 3rd consecutive rage quit on this one, as it's going to hop into the next inning. I can't remember exactly when it is. I know it's coming up, the rage quit. Yep. So he's going to pause the game here. He's going to quit out as we just had the hot sticks and we were carrying the hot hands. So we are now 8-0 on the run, 4 away from that elusive 12-0. Game, as you know, would be game number 9. We're going to be taking on the Montgomery Biscuits. Love that name. As he's a Balloon Knot Rover, I should say. He's got Peterson, Baez, Grandal, Mark Reynolds, Kyle Tucker, Hicks, He's got Starlin Castro in the 8 hole. Can't tell who's in the 7 hole, but he's got a goon squad. Ross Detweiler on the mound. Definitely another good opponent that we're going to have to face. We'll go ahead. One out here in the first inning. He's got Javi Baez up here after a Jock Peterson ground out. He's going to poke this one the other way. I decided to leave the common starter in there. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off, but at least it was only a single. That Baez card definitely rakes. But next here, fast forward to 2 outs in the inning. Mark Reynolds up here. Luckily, I was able to get that enough inside to jam him, as he's just going to fly that out measly to right field. We make the play. No runs given up there, no harm done. So we're going to go to the bottom of the first here. Got a 2-2 count to Jock Peterson. And as he's done for a lot of this run, I mean, he was the man this run for sure, as he's going to shoot that into the gap for the leadoff double. This will get in there to second base. We're actually going to jump forward now to Suarez. We got next 2 batters didn't do anything off of Nate Jones, but Suarez on a 1-2 count is going to drive that ball to right field. As you can see, I was super excited about that as we take the 2-0 lead. And we were not done there, baby. We were not done. As we got Gary Sanchez up here with a 3-2 count. He's actually going to take a walk there. So we got a runner on first with 2 outs here. Aaron Hicks coming up. He brings in Gil Martin to face Hicks, and this is something I notated throughout the run with Aaron Hicks, that he doesn't have as good a power against lefties, and he proved me wrong a couple of times. As he's going to take that 2-1 pitch and absolutely destroy it to left center field. We're going to get another 2 runs on the board here, extend that lead to 4-0 in the bottom of the first. Looking good here in game number 9. It's going to bring in Derek Dietrich. And the very next pitch from Gil Martin is going to be absolutely blasted to right field as we go back to back. As we are now up 5-0 here in the bottom of the first. Back-to-back bombs. But wait, were we done there? I don't think so. 2-1 to George Springer. That ball is hit high and deep the other way. I didn't know if it was going to get out off contact, but the ball just kept carrying and carrying, and that's a back-to-back-to-back shot. But wait, there's more. Mark Canha on a 2-0 pitch. That slider ended up right down the middle. Back-to-back-to-back-to-back home runs from the squad. An early 7-0 lead here in game number 9. And we were definitely going to carry that lead to the win the best we could here as we bring in Billy Wagner in the top of the second. He is going to lead off with a double with the that Tops Now Kyle Tucker cards. Or actually with a single, my apologies. So he's got a single here to start off the inning. We're going to go now a little bit later here with 2 outs now in the inning. No runs on his part yet. He's got Castro up here, but he is going to drive that ball to right center field with Starlin Castro. I thought initially this was going to end up being a run for him, but we were able to get a good relay in here and keep him to second and third. So still no runs put up on his part. We're still carrying that 7-0 lead here in the top of the second. Fast forward now, bases loaded. Jock Peterson up a 3-1 count to him. Still Billy Wagner in there. Peterson's going to roll that one over to Colton Wong as we get out of the jam there. Still up 7-0, and nothing really happened in the second and third inning. We're going to fast forward all the way to the top of the third here. He's got first and third with 2 outs. Aaron Hicks up at the plate, and Hicks is going to reach out, poke that, and pull it to left field, and that's going to be your ball game. Game number 9 is secured as we take the win yet again, 3 away from 12-0. It was getting hype in the chat. All right, so we would take our 9-0 record here now into game number 10, looking to get those 3 more wins for 12-0, taking on the Compton Gamblers. He's got Smoke Lindor, Jordan, Holiday, Bruce, Flores, Severino, and Arias hitting in the 8th spot. He's got Mike Bright Jr. on the mound. We 3 away from that elusive 12-0, man, as we're going to hop actually right into the top of the second here. Nothing really going on in the first inning, but on a 3-2 count, Eugenio Suarez is going to hit an absolute bomb to left field. So we have the 1-0 lead here in the top of the second. But we were definitely not done there, as with a 1-1 count here to Gary Sanchez, the very next batter. He's going to go ahead and drive this ball. I thought initially it was caught. Like, I had no clue that this was going to get down. It actually hits off the wall. He got caught in a receiving the ball off the wall animation there. So we get a no-out double there with Gary Sanchez. Very next batter, Aaron Hicks. Like I said before, he doesn't have power against lefties, but in this run, man, he hits some absolute shots off of lefty pitchers as he's going to hit a bomb there to left field. We extend our lead to 3-0 as that hits off the top of the wall, actually. So a couple batters later, after a base hit, we got Springer up here on a 1-1 count, and he's going to go deep left center field. And that baby is gone as well, as we, nothing in the first inning, but now we have a 5-0 lead here. So fast forward now to the bottom of the third, because nothing really happened in between. We tacked on a couple more runs, but nothing more exciting. They weren't home runs or anything like that in the top of the third. But we have a 0-2 count to Justin Smoke. We're going to strike him out. My opponent definitely was late on those high fastballs, and that's going to be your ball game as we take game number 10 at 7-0, 2 games away from 12-0. 2 games away from our flawless reward here. In game number 11, we are taking on the Salt Lake City Wild Sleuths, as he's going to bring a lineup of Kyle Schwarber, Zach Cozart, Josh Donaldson, Conforto, Escobar, Duda. Don't know who's in his 7th spot, but I know Narvaez is in the 8th spot, and then he's got Manny Banuelos on the mound for him. So we are hoping to get the dub here in game number 11 to get onto that game number 12 and get that flawless reward. So we're actually going to jump to the bottom of the first here. Nothing going on for him in the top half, but we're going to start things off with an absolute nuke from Jock Peterson. Another big jock shot to start us off here. Get us to that early 1-0 lead. So a couple batters later, we got Colton Wong up with the 1-2 count. We're going to take a ball down low here, and the very next pitch here from Scott Oberg is going to be absolutely tattooed to right field. Your fastball right down the middle. Wong had a very good swing on it, and that's going to be an early 2-0 lead here in game number 11. So we're actually going to fast forward now to the top of the 3rd here, as me and my opponent just traded, 3-out innings. I mean, there wasn't much going on in between. My opponent did not put together good swings in the game, and we're actually going to get the jam fly out here, I believe, by Ronald Guzman. And that is your ball game as we take game number 11, and the final score being 2-0. That was all those 2 home runs in the first inning would be all that we would need to take the win in this one, as we are hopping into game number 12, 1 away from that flawless reward. All right, so we are now in game number 12. We're actually going to be taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers. Dodger fan 16. I mean, this guy was an absolute goon. He was a great opponent. His lineup, he's got Mays, Alonso, Bautista, Cespedes, Posada, DeYoung, Escobar, and Forsythe. This game ends up being one of the best games I've ever played, and we're about to jump into it here. It was an absolute great game here in game number 12. So hopping in, first batter of the game here, Jock Peterson. 2-2 pitch coming from the common starter, and that's going to be driven the other way as Jock Peterson gets us started with a big jock shot, and believe me, he was not done in this game. What an absolute monster he was in this run. So a few batters later here, we got Ryan Stanek pitching to Suarez. Suarez is going to take that ball low and in and drive it to deep left center field. It's not going to quite get out. It's going to get off the wall there. So we have a 2-out double here, looking to try to bring him in with Gary Sanchez looming. So Gary Sanchez is going to come up here next batter on a 2-1. He's actually going to line this pitch right to the third baseman Escobar, unfortunately, for the out. So now we're going to jump to the bottom of the first here. 3-2 count to Pete Alonso. Big Meat Pete's going to drive that the other way for a base hit. So he's got the 1-out single here with in the bottom of the first with his team. Very next batter, Bautista on a 1-1 pitch is going to drive this low and in fastball deep to left field for the home run, so we were at an early deficit. My opponent certainly could get to that inside fastball, and I kept trying it throughout the game, as you'll see coming in a little bit here. As very next batter actually, as an example, throw another inside fastball, and he hits that out too as well. So I kept trying the inside fastball. My opponent could certainly get to it, and eventually once I stopped doing that, I ended up getting some success. But fast forward to later in the inning, he's got the corners here with 2 outs, and Forsythe's going to drive another inside fastball once again. Don't know why I kept doing it, just hoping that he wouldn't be able to get to it, but Forsythe's going to drive that for a double as he tacks another run on. So we have a 3-run deficit here as the away team in game number 12. So brought in Darren O'Day to face off against Willie Mays after a walk with the bases loaded. First pitch to Willie Mays. Luckily get the pop out here to first base. Dietrich's going to make the play as we escape a huge jam there and potential more damage. So hopping in now to the bottom of the next inning. Aaron Hicks against another lefty drives that out to right field. What an absolute monster run that I had with Hicks as well. He was a goon for me. Very next batter, Derek Dietrich, is going to drive that slider through the right side for a base hit. So the deficit that we had, we're climbing back. Only down 2 now with a runner at first. So 2 batters later here, brought in Mark Hanna as the pinch hitter. He's going to drive that ball off of Taylor Clark to right center field. Thought Mays might catch it off the bat, but that does end up getting down as we do have second and third here now with 1 out in the inning. So trying to tie the game up, with 1 hit or maybe even take the lead. And very next batter, Jock Peterson on a 1-2 pitch. Like I said, an absolute goon. He was not done. He's going to drive that pitch to right field. Barely gets over the top of the wall for the 3-run home run. We are back on top, 5-4. Fast forward now to the bottom of the second inning. So first batter for him, Big Meat Pete, is up here again. The 1-2 pitch. He's able to foul that off with Pete Alonso, but the very next pitch here tried that high and in fastball, and I paid for it. Did not hit the spot, and Pete Alonso drives that out. So we are all tied up back at square one, 5-5. So we have the very next batter here, Yoenis, or actually 2 batters later, my apologies. Yoenis Cespedes up, missed on the slider there. He is able to drive this out to left field for the 1-out double. Peterson didn't get a good animation over there, so we weren't able to get him out at second, so he's got a runner at second with 1 out. Now the very next batter after Cespedes is going to be Jorge Posada, and once again missed the spot with the slider. Posada absolutely murders that to left center field for the home run. We are now chasing 2 again. But like you've seen earlier in this game, deficits did not mean anything to me, so hop to the bottom, or the top of the third here. Now we got Gary Sanchez leading off against Jose Leclerc, able to shoot that change up low and in just to left field, just past the diving reach of the third baseman, so we have a leadoff base hit. So after a couple outs, we were able to get, or actually, very next batter, Aaron Hicks is going to hit an absolute bomb to right field. Once again, another home run for him as we are all tied up again at 7-7. So now we have, so there's 2 outs now in the top of the third. We have a runner at third after a double. We got the runner over. He brings in Brian Dunsing to go against Jock Peterson. And I know Jock had hit 2 bombs, but I had to bring in Michael Taylor here. Had to play the matchup. And it wasn't favorable from the chat, but luckily Taylor is able to drive that to the third baseman. Third baseman tries to make the play. Escobar does, not able to pick it up, and we are safe as we take the 8-7 lead, but we were not done there. 1-0 pitch from Dunsing to the next batter. Ernie Banks is going to be absolutely destroyed to left center field as we tack on 2 more runs to the lead. Just looking to tack on as much as we can because my opponent could certainly play. So after a 2-out double by Colton Wong, we have Suarez up here. He brought in Addison Reed, and Suarez is going to nuke that ball to left field just over the bullpen, and we're up 12-7. I brought in Patrick Corbin, and he was actually able to get some quality outs in the bottom of the second inning, and we kept him out here for the bottom of the third inning as he was able to get Forsythe to ground out their first pitch. And then after a 1-out single by McCutcheon and a fly out to center field by Willie Mays, that brought up Pete Alonso here with 2 outs. A chance to put a run on the board as he's going to drive that to center field. And we are going to be there with Aaron Hicks as we get the 12th win of the run. I was absolutely hyped. You can see me screaming in the video there. The chat was hype. I mean, it was amazing. I had a run not too long before this where I lost game 12, but in this one we were able to get there as Jock Peterson does get player of the game with those 2 home runs. Could have went to him or it could have went to Hicks, but Jock did have the 3-run bomb and the solo bomb to give us the lead, and Hicks had the solo bomb and the 2-run bomb, so definitely understand why they gave it to Jock. So we're going to go ahead and hop in. As you can see, there's the rewards right there, and we're going to hop into opening the packs that we get. So first pack, I mean, it's a dud. I mean, these cards aren't going for much, so we end up getting Josh Hader out of this one. Very next one, Garrett Cole is our 89+ diamond, only going for 15k stubs. Not the best thing in the world, but that's not what we care about. We care about this bad boy right here as we get our goon round here with Jimmie Foxx, Posada, and Michael Young. Decided to take Jimmie Foxx. He was the one that was going for the most there, and that ends up being our flawless reward. So the gauntlet was climbed. I believe we started the stream at either 3-0 or 4-0. I can't remember for sure. Obviously, you'll know watching the video, but I mean, it was just an absolute grind. Appreciate everybody that was out there in the chat too as well. I mean, they were hyping me up. It was an amazing day, an amazing grind, and it was awesome. Couldn't believe that we were able to get all the way up to 12-0, but we were able to do it. That's going to go ahead and conclude things here. As these are the highlights from the 12-0 run that I had on Twitch. I actually had another 12-0 run, oddly enough, that I'll go ahead and post here. Probably in the next couple days, I'll definitely get that out there as well to get the highlights of that one. But I want to thank you for tuning into the video here today. Hopefully you enjoyed the highlights of the run here. Definitely, check me out on Twitch too as well. I'm streaming pretty regularly now. Typically from 3:30 to 6 p.m. weekdays, my time in Arizona, and then also on the weekends whenever I can. So definitely tune out. I do tweet about it, but like I said, thanks for watching the video. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and peace out.
Till I get up, time is barely on our side.